Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's event. I'm Christiana, Community Manager here at Descript, and we are very excited to talk to you today about our new AI translation features. You can now make video with Descript in 20 plus languages, which is very exciting. We released and announced these events last week, and now we're very excited to have this community event with you today. One thing, however, unexpected has come up, which is during our prep right before we were about to go live, our presenter today, who was going to demo these features for us, had an unexpected medical thing come up. So he is not able to join us today, which means, and he was the product manager that led these features. So we're kind of doing a bit of an on-the-fly adjustment to today's event. So I hope that you all will have some grace with us as we adjust this. Luckily, we have the amazing Marcelo from our support team who's going to jump in and show off some of these things. So the event might be a little bit shorter. It's going to be a little bit different, but we're still here. We're still going to talk about these amazing AI translation features with you today. And anything that we don't cover, we will reschedule this with Aleks so he can speak to this once he's all set to go. So really appreciate you guys sticking with us through this. And as you know, we like to maybe you don't, maybe this is your first Descript event. We always love to kick this off by welcoming everybody and asking people to share in the chat where they're tuning in from. And today is all about taking your content global. It is now easier than ever to translate your content, your videos with Descript. And fittingly, we've got a crew from all over the world right now. I'm seeing Portugal, I'm seeing Texas, I'm seeing San Francisco, Italy, Norway. I love it. France, amazing. This is so cool. Keep tuning in, letting us know where you're tuning in from. And yeah, thanks so much for rolling with the punches with us here. This truly came up 3 minutes before we were supposed to start, so we thought on the fly, and we're going to try our best to give you as awesome of an event regardless. So let me share my screen really quick. We'll do some agenda setting. I'm going to play a video that overviews everything new, and then Marcelo will join us on screen for a little light demo. Okay, awesome. So again, welcome. Descript's new AI translation, how to make video in 20 plus languages. If you're just joining us, Aleks, our wonderful product manager, was supposed to lead these demos, but something has come up for him and he had to last minute not be able to make it. No worries, we will reschedule with Aleks for a later date, and we are going to cover as much as we can regardless, with the amazing Marcelo from our support team. So if you're brand new to Descript, that's a fun thing. Let us know in the chat. Are you new to Descript? Are you an existing user that is really excited about these new translation features? Are you just here to hang out? Let us know. And tell us which of these Descript use cases most resonates with you. Are you making YouTube videos, clips for social, podcasts and video podcasts, marketing videos, educational video, product demos? Let us know. And what's very exciting is now you can make that content, no matter what it is, in 20 plus different languages. That's pretty exciting. So this is what we are going to cover today. I think we will still be able to hit most of this, even if it's light. So I'm going to play a quick video that overviews everything new. And then the things we were hoping to cover today was increased translated audio and caption support for 20 plus languages, Descript's new native sounding AI speakers, batch translation and batch export to help you go around the world with your content all the more faster, and then more quality control over your translated content with translation proofreading for teams and enterprise users, and then Q&A. Again, I just tasked Marcelo with putting together a surprise demo in the last couple of minutes. We're going to try to hit as much of this as possible, but anything we don't, we'll cover with Aleks at a future event, and I will email everybody who signed up for this a direct invite to that. So don't worry, we will cover all of these things in good time. Event FYIs, as we are going through this, use the YouTube chat for comments and questions. Marcelo and I will be eyeing that, and we'll save time at the end, and I'll pose those questions and we'll answer as many as we can. The session is recorded and we'll send it in that follow-up email. And if you need any more help, you have questions about translation or anything else in Descript, help.descript.com is your best friend. I'm in there every day. There's really amazing guides on our translation features. Definitely check that out. And then last but not least, we like to always ask for feedback on our events. Again, this event is a little bit of a different because we're working on the fly here. Please feel free to still scan that QR code. And at the end of this event, tell us what you liked about this. Tell us what could improve. And obviously, thank you for all your grace as we're sort of adjusting on the fly while live. That's what live events are all about, people. Just thinking on our feet, figuring things out. If you make videos or you've done content before, you probably relate to having to do that stuff. So thank you so much for your grace as we work through this today. But I think without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play a video that covers all of these features that we released last week. It's starring the amazing Ramdi, who is a video creator here on our team, and it's going to kind of overview everything new when it comes to AI translating with Descript. So it's about a minute long, and I'll be back after that, and then we'll welcome our friend Marcelo on stage. All right, see you in a sec. Enjoy the
Are
video.
you wondering how I can talk about making video in English?
Diskutiert sobre baloncesto en espagnol, parler sur les films en français oder auf Deutsch Gedichte über die neuesten Descript-Funktionen rezitieren kann.
Well, I'm not some sort of human Rosetta Stone. I just use Descript, because our new translation features make it easier than ever to reach a global audience. In addition to translated captions, you can now dub your translated video into over 20 languages with our AI speakers.
Oké, dus op basis van mijn criteria en wat AI weet over het soort content dat goed presteert op sociale media.
And you can batch translate and export a whole bunch of videos all at once. So now you can translate your projects faster than ever. These features are available for our creator, business, or enterprise plans. And if you're on a business or enterprise plan, you can also easily adjust the translation in the transcript to ensure everything is as accurate and native sounding as possible. So now I can easily expand my audience worldwide. Yeah, that's right. The world's about to get a lot more of Ramdi. There's plenty to go around.
That Ramdi sure is talented. I hope that provided a good overview for you on everything we released in the last couple weeks on this. Lots of exciting stuff. I'm about to welcome Marcelo on stage for a little impromptu demo, but let us know, what are you most excited about? Let us know in the chat. Why are you excited for these translation features? What are you hoping to make? What language are you hoping to make in? Different languages? Let us know your use case and why you decided to sign up for this event. Okay, but without further ado, Marcelo, our knight in shining armor, saving the day. You were not planning to be on screen today, and yet here you are. I cannot imagine someone else I'd rather be doing this with. Thank you for joining us.
It is truly my pleasure. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
I appreciate it so much. And I know that translation features are near and dear to your heart. You've been working at Descript for 4 years. You've been championing this stuff for a long time. Why is this stuff so important to you?
Good question. And yes, I think you were one of the first people to hear me at a conference yell, "Oh my God, we need translation." But because, like, just some background, I am the child of immigrants, so like I come from a Brazilian and American background, and I think, like, growing up, like seeing content from all cultures or like multiple cultures, right, has been really great. And now, like, on the like production end of things, right, it's great to share out that content. I've been a musician for so many years and sharing out that media with other like regions, whatever. But now with podcasting, with educational content, and most importantly with Descript, you can take your content, repurpose that to get to other regions, other, like, you know, groups of listeners, but expand your audience. At the end of the day, it is the most important thing to take away from this. Is you can take in whatever language is your primary language, take that and expand your reach as far as you can get it.
Totally. I totally agree. It's so great just for cultural connections and expanding your content, accessibility, or maybe, you know, you make content that is, you know, maybe informational, where you would like to be able to service it to people that speak a bunch of different languages. We want to support that stuff no matter what you're doing. So we've got, and I'm seeing people sort of share in the chat what they're excited about. Some people that have been waiting for this for quite some time, and yeah, I'm excited to dive into this. So again, Marcelo, I know that you just kind of scraped together a demo for this. Things are moving on the fly, but I think maybe the first thing we could talk about, and maybe you could open up a project, is the fact that we went from supporting 5 languages with caption and audio to 20 plus, which is super exciting. We've added a bunch of language support, and little hint, folks, if you don't see the language that you would like to translate in, we're adding more. We will continue to be adding more until we can cover as many areas and languages as possible. So sit tight. But yeah, let's show off what this looks like now.
Yeah, so here we're jumping a little bit ahead in like the creation of a project process, right? But here we have what would be my baked cake, to steal some Christiana verbiage. But this is the finished project I'm looking at here. So I have broken out this educational video that shows people how to use a portion of the Descript app into multiple scenes. I have my content here. I've laid out everything perfectly. Now I'm ready to share this out to the world, right? Not just to my current audience. On the right-hand side, I'm going to click Underlord here. Translation is an Underlord action. I'm going to scroll down here into the Repurpose section, and I'll select Translate.
Cool.
And then here on the right-hand side, I'm given now a list of every language that I can translate to. So this is for text translation. If I wanted to, I see a couple people in the chat saying like, hey, I'm not just going to one language, but to 3 or 4 at once. You'll see here these checkboxes I can select. Let's say I want this to go into French, German, Italian, and bias Brazilian Portuguese. But cool. So now I can translate this one composition into 4 languages. If I click submit here, I'll be given my translations on the left-hand side. It'll go paragraph or like sentence by sentence, following along with what the English is. I'll play back here. Just let me know if you can hear this.
Transcription is the basis for every Descript project.
Yes, it's sounding a little bit
garbled again.
Yeah. Every time you record or
cool. Again, apologies, everyone on here. Just quick get together. But
transcription is the basis.
But yeah, so like I would see here my text translation. Notice that I'm playing back and I'm still hearing the audio in English. What I've done is I've just translated the audio. Like per Ramdy's video that we watched a second ago, we also offer dubbing for languages. So if I wanted to, I could go back to the original video. I could go to translate and I click translate to. I'm selecting my languages again, but here I can also select to dub the speech. As long as it's in one of the 20 languages that we support, you'll be able to dub this as well. So not just have the text correction or like captions for people, but also use our AI speech tool to update Puppet's voice here to sound like someone else. Also notice we have some new stock speakers. For those of you that have been with Descript for a while, you'll notice these have been updated pretty frequently. But like Ramdy mentioned in that video as well, for our business users and enterprise users, we have some more like an extension of those voices for dubbing specifically.
Yes. Yeah. And some folks I think are in the chat are saying, or maybe not familiar with the term dubbing. And what that just means, folks, is the AI is taking your voice and then doing its AI magic to translate it so you sound as if you speak French, even if you don't, or you speak Spanish or German or any of those languages that we support, even if you've never passed a single French 101 class, or you forgot all of it from college if you're like me. So like that video we played, Ramdy doesn't speak any of those languages, but Descript is now empowered to take your AI voice and be able to translate things into that different language. But Marcel, you also brought up the great point that we have new native sounding AI speakers. And I guess what that means is we brought on new speakers that actually like sound like native French speakers or native Brazilian Portuguese speakers. And that we didn't have that before, right?
No, not at all. When you did any dubbing, it was like taking the in your example, like the first day of class French speaker saying "Je m'appelle Marcello," right? Like it was very butchered. But we have like just speaking from experience, like in Brazil, there's a lot of like pockets of Portuguese, like different dialects, different like accents and so on, and they do a really really good job at getting like a natural sounding speaker for for the languages that I've tested at least.
That's
Let's
great.
listen back to one of these really quick too.
Ou audio, Descript le transcrit automatiquement pour faciliter l'édition.
Cool. So I'm probably gonna have to slow down the speed of that a little bit because unless that's how fast French people speak. But but yeah, like so that's the idea again. That we see the text above here, we see the English, what it is translated from. We can play back. If we did not like how that audio was generated, we can regenerate the speech, thinking if an enunciation is off, or if we wanted to change the the speaker itself. And then for enterprise customers, this can also be edited. So if you need to adjust what is in here, again, we do a really good job about like translation localization. But if you need to adjust this for any reason, whether it's like a name or a proper noun, whatever, like for enterprise customers, you have the ability to adjust this translation as well.
Totally. Yeah. And someone is asking in the chat, could we dub our own voice? So absolutely. And just to be clear, so Descript supports AI voices or your AI speaker, where you record a little statement and you give Descript permission to make an AI version of your voice. You completely own that. Descript doesn't. You own it. And now you can also use your own voice to translate your content into those other languages that we support. So I believe that question came from Maria. Yeah, Maria, I see you're typing in English. So if you wanted to make content in French, you now have that power, which is super exciting. And then they said, okay, paying Descript immediately. That's what we like to hear. Okay, Marcelo, we can end the event now. No,
good. All right, we got her. In the YouTube chat, I'm just going to drop also an article from our help center on just like all of the languages that we can currently translate both dub and text in. For those of you that are like, I need a full list of what's going on. Marcelo, you scrolled kind of fast on that. Please check out that list. It's help.descript.com as our help center. Translation overview is the article title. You can just check that out.
Awesome. Cool. And then somebody asked, do we still need a person's authorization in order to dub a video using their voice? Absolutely.
Yeah, we will always require that. They're like just the the way that we care about the security and like the ownership of that voice. We are always going to require you being the person that is that we're regenerating the voice to read a consent statement saying, hey, I solemnly swear that I want Descript to do this, and you again then have the access to that voice. So yeah,
absolutely. Awesome. And then Marcelo, someone was asking, obviously this translation proofread is what we call what we're seeing here, and it's only available on, I believe you said it, but business and enterprise plans. What would you say, let me know if you don't know this, it's totally fine, but folks are asking about like accuracy. How accurate would you say these transcripts are?
Yeah, I would say like it's no surprise that we are using like a language learning model for this, right? So like the same kind of accuracy that you would get from any standard LLM saying, hey, translate this text to this. We did not create an in-house translator. We are using the same tools that other AI applications will use. From what I have tested personally, I would say this fits right alongside our transcription accuracy as a whole.
Agreed.
Like sitting around like the 97-98% accuracy. There are things that are going to go off. Again, like it's at the end of the day, it's still a robot. So like, yeah, and I speak fast, so sometimes it doesn't get the translation perfect, right? So like there are variables, but I would say 95, I can't say 100% because someone's going to say something, but like 95 and up % accuracy is what I have found in personal usage from being an English and Brazilian Portuguese speaker and testing both.
Awesome. Cool. And some folks were saying, obviously we talked about in order to get to this point where you're creating content in dubbed languages, you need to create your AI speaker voice. I just sent a link in the chat on how to do that. Step-by-step guide on how to create your voice. So you can check that out. Okay, cool. And then one thing I just wanted to highlight. So we talked about how you can create your own voice, and then also you can use these native AI sounding speakers. So you have two options, folks. You can either dub it in your own voice, or you can select from one of those different options. So if you're like, I don't really want to make an AI voice, you can use a stock one. And yeah, check those out because they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, we have a very big library of stock voices, and like I see plenty of people, especially like when you're worried about like translating to other languages. Like my mom creates content herself, right? And she is usually using a stock voice because she's nervous about how, you know, people will take an accent, or like even like how the robot will try to recreate her voice in a different language, right? So if you want to use a stock voice, we have that option. If you want to use your own voice, we have that option. Really, I would encourage everyone to play around with our AI speaker like features. It's really cool stuff.
Awesome. Cool. And then maybe the last couple things we could hit here before we take some questions is
Mhm.
we also announced batch translation creation and batch export so that you can translate into a bunch of languages at once and get them on out at Descript all at once. So maybe you could show that off
Yeah.
really quick.
So the batch translation is what I was showing just a little bit ago. If we go back to the original, if I click Underlord here on the right hand side and click translate, like the batch translation would just be this like multi-select here. So I'm quote unquote batch translating by selecting however many languages.
Yeah.
Cool. Now I have these languages. How do I get the English, the French, the Portuguese out of here? Same way that we would export normally. It's going to be in the same region on the top right of Descript. We're going to click publish. You'll see here from both publish and export, we get the option to select which language. But if I go to export here, I should see a same checkbox for all the languages that I've translated to or the original. So if I wanted to just export just Portuguese, I can do so. French and Portuguese, cool. Or the original and all three. Those are all options here in my export menu. For publish, because you're creating like a singular page, you do have to select one of the languages. But for export, because you're generating multiple files, you can select any language that you have, including the original.
Awesome. Super cool. I think that's just a great workflow enhancement to, you know, you don't have to do all these things over and
Yeah.
over again. If you're like creating in all 20 languages, that would take a second. So
Absolutely.
awesome. Okay, cool. So those are the big things, honestly, that we launched. It's these, just to review, folks. So we've got 20 plus languages that we support now in dubbing and captions. Marcelo, do we have like a help center article we could send in the chat that includes all of the ones we support? Just because I'm
Yes.
seeing some specific questions.
I dropped this in the chat earlier, but I'm just going to reshare. This is the translate article from our help center, and if you scroll down about halfway through the page, it lists all of the languages that we can translate to and dub.
Cool. Love it. Super exciting. Yeah. So somebody asked, can you do Italian? Yes, you can. Check out this list for all of the specifics. And then we also touched on how you can dub with your own voice. So even if you don't speak one of those languages, you can create content in your voice in that language if you create an AI voice with Descript, or you can use one of our new native AI speakers. So we added speakers that sound like native French speakers, native German speakers, etc. We covered batch translation creation, so you can do translation in multiple languages at once. Batch export to get everything out of Descript as well. And I think that was the main things we wanted to hit on. Maybe, Marcelo, we could take a few questions before we close out. And just a reminder, folks, in case you joined late, we changed things up with this event last minute. Our product manager who led this work, Aleks, had a medical thing pop up right before we were supposed to go live. So Marcelo graciously jumped in to show us these things. Thank you so much for doing that, Marcelo. So now we're going to spend some time trying to answer some questions as best as we can, but we will definitely reschedule another one of these events to just hit it all again for good measure and give Aleks opportunity to speak to this amazing work. He has put so much into these features and they are such a huge unlock. This has not been a short amount of work and grunt effort that has gone into this. And it is so cool to see people from diverse backgrounds and regions across the world getting to use Descript a little bit more. So definitely want to continue talking about this. And so if we don't get to your question, don't worry. We'll cover this. We'll cover all this stuff again. So let's hit a couple of those and then we'll close out here. So Marcelo, one thing that someone noticed right away is I see that the language is being dubbed, but it's not
Yeah.
lip syncing. So Ramdi was speaking French, but his mouth lip reading was still in English. Can you talk about that a little bit, and if we have plans to eventually support that?
Absolutely. So, yeah, you're totally correct. When we were translating the audio, we are doing exactly that. We are translating just the audio. So, what you are seeing played back is the original video with just different audio, meaning that the lip movement is still in the original language it was recorded in. So, if I
Yep.
record my video in English, my lips are, if you lip read me, I'm speaking English, right?
Yep.
So, as it stands currently, that is expected. Only the audio is translated or overdubbed. In the future, we are planning on adding some lip movement thing to match, right? So, like, the goal is to get full generation of either your voice or a stock voice, your face, or whatever face you use, right, to have movement that feels like you're watching it in that native language.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. And I believe we'll be calling that. We're working on it right now, and I think it's like in closed beta. I think we'll be calling that AI regeneration. Keep your eyes peeled for that, folks. And we will make sure that the people that signed up for this event and indicated interest in AI translation will be the first to know when that's ready to try out. Marcelo, we talked about how we played some of those examples of our test user Puppet speaking in French that was going a little bit fast. Is it possible to adjust the speed?
Yes, absolutely. You can adjust the playback speed of a generated audio clip or an original audio clip. All of that is manageable. I'm just going to share an article in the YouTube chat really quick for everyone to take a peek at. But there is a feature called clip speed adjustment. It is exactly what it says it is. It is adjusting the speed of that clip. So after you translate a section of audio or a composition, whatever, you can adjust the speed of that clip playback wise. One thing to note for everyone, though, is that when we are translating, if you notice before, it groups together like a sentence or two, right, and then translates that. It's trying to play back that audio in the span of time of that text. So if you are going to change the speed of the translated speech, you might also need to change the speed of the video that it is connected to, just as a heads up, right? It might not always be required, but if the speed is fast of speech, that means that we're squeezing X amount of words into a smaller bucket. So, like, if you're going to stretch that out, you might need to stretch the corresponding video, would be my only call out there. But yeah.
Cool. Good call. Okay, cool. This is a specific workflow question I want to bring up from Everyday Disciple. Can you show us, or is it possible to subtitle your original English audio with the French translated subtitles caption? So what I'm imagining they're looking for is English speaking, but the captions are in French or a different language.
Yeah, let me just put this real quick, but that I believe should be totally possible. Give me just a moment. Sorry. I'm
No,
share my
take your
screen instead.
time. Take your time. While Marcelo is getting that set up, let us know in the chat what languages you're most excited to translate in. Let us know. For me, I am excited because I spent 2 years in college speaking French and have forgot mostly all of it. So I want to use this as an opportunity to practice and like look at my translations and see if I can like read them and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
I did not know that you spoke French. My little brother spent like 6 months studying abroad in France, and all he has to show for it is a hatred for croissants.
Well, j'adore croissant. So
Oui, dude.
there's my French. Okay, I'm seeing Spanish, Mandarin. Okay, very exciting. So the unnoticed entrepreneur, you say Mandarin. You may see that that's not currently supported, and I'll just say yet and smile at the camera and say keep tuning in for more updates.
I would encourage everybody that if you are looking at our translation options and you are not seeing a language that you would like, I would heavily encourage everyone to drop that language on our feature request board. Our team is very actively looking at that and adding languages based on user feedback. So please share. I'm going to share my screen really quick just to show off what was asked a moment ago.
Hit it. You got it.
Okay, cool. So whenever you are using Underlord to translate something, it is going to make a one-for-one copy of your composition and then just give the other language text. So the captions here are in Brazilian Portuguese. I've also dubbed the language, but I can choose to not dub the language and just keep the original audio. But like here, played back is the Brazilian transcription.
É a base de todo o projeto no Descript. Sempre que você grava ou importa.
Puppet sounds wild in Portuguese. But if I wanted to, let's say I want to translate this again, if I wanted to just keep just the audio as English, I can go to Underlord, I can translate, I can just make sure I don't have dub speech selected, go to Portuguese, submit, and once this generates, I would then should have Brazilian.
Transcription is the basis for every Descript project.
So now I have text in Portuguese and then audio in English.
Super cool. Love it.
But the only way I'm able to have that is if I have captions already on this project before I translate. So just make sure everything looks exactly like how you want it before you click translate, because we are just copying what is present here and then different languaging it.
Totally. Love it.
That's totally a word. Anyway.
Cool. Different languaging it. That's what we should have called these features, honestly.
Yeah, the different language button.
Yeah. Okay, a couple quick ones. Marcelo, which plans have access to this? I know, what is it? The translation proofreading, so going in and being able to edit the translations, that is only available on our business and enterprise plans. But the baseline, being able to dub and being able to get translated captions, who has access to that? On which plan?
That should be our hobbyist and up plan. Anyone with Underlord access should have at least the translate button. I think free users get like 5 lifetime usages, and then like hobbies and up should have. Yeah. But the restrictions on translate are only on like the upper echelons of like dubbing or like manually correcting what it's translated. That's part of our business and enterprise plan. But aside that, everyone should have access to clicking translate. Yep. You will get a notification in the Underlord sidebar. If you are on a plan below business, it should give you a warning of like, hey, you can use X amount of actions, or you have this much usage left in this time period. So if you are on a plan below business or enterprise, it should like give you a notification of like, you have this much time left with this feature kind of thing. But everyone should have access to it, at least to click once.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. So that's how uses of Underlord, so our AI editing assistant, is broken up. You have like a certain amount per month, folks. I sent the pricing information in the chat. So click on that and you'll see, I think it's like hobbyist has like 20 uses of basic AI. Our creator plan is unlimited. So just check that out. Okay, cool. And then, Marcelo, someone was asking, okay, so we're showing all this in video. Is it possible to do this in audio only?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can still do audio only transcription. Even though Descript has leveled up quite a bit and added a lot more visual features, we have not left our audio friends in the past. So anything that you're seeing video-wise should be able to be done with strictly audio as well.
Cool. Love it. Okay, yeah. Great. Let's see. Okay, so Amanda asked a question. I'm not exactly sure if I understand it, but I'm going to pull it up. Can you confirm the only way to guarantee quality, pacing, pronunciation with this tool is to include a language speaker in the workflow? Amanda, do you mean like someone reviewing it and checking it and making sure?
I'm not sure if the question is related to like translation specifically, or like the quality / pacing of the AI speech voice. I can like guarantee like quality, like I can guarantee like something comes out if you are training a voice, but pacing and pronunciation, if I'm reading this question, like how do you guarantee the output of an AI speech voice? Pacing and pronunciation comes with how you train the voice or what you are entering text-wise. Like we mentioned earlier, though, like you can always adjust the speed of what is being like said. You can always adjust the pronunciation. We have specific guides for pronunciation guidance on our help center. So if you're like trying to type out a word like Marcelo is not often pronounced correctly by robots, I have to phonetically type it out kind of thing. But yeah, I would say like if I'm reading that question correctly, I can always guarantee there is some output, but pacing and punctuation comes with what you are entering to the tool or how you are training the voice if it's your own voice. If I'm
Totally.
misreading that question, please correct me, dude. But that's
No, I
at
think
least how
you
I'm reading
got
it.
it. Yeah. Yeah, they followed up and said, "Do you need a speaker to be adjusting the script?" And I think
Oh,
well,
you,
like, when you translate in English right now, right? Not translate, transcribe in
transcribe.
English, you're still sometimes gonna need to correct things. That's true. From what we know, it like, that is possible that there may be, like, you just might be mistranscribed rather than, like, it's getting it wrong in that language. AI, we all know AI is still on the frontier. Weird stuff happens sometimes. It's not always perfect. That's true. What we're saying though, and from our testing, this gets you like pretty dang close to 100% accuracy. I don't think we can guarantee like you will never find an issue, of course. Like,
Yeah.
just like depending on audio quality and, like you said, quality of that voice authorization and all of that will also contribute to this. So if you have someone on your team that can check it, that sounds great, honestly. If something looks a little funky, you can look it up and see, and then give us feedback. If you are noticing a lot of errors, please flag that to us. But we've tested this a lot before we sent it live, and we put it through some rigorous accuracy tests, as you can say. I'm like, what's another word for test? Challenges. And yeah, it got past our quality standard. So, but let us know what you find. Cool. Okay, sweet. I think okay, one thing that came up a couple times, and then we'll close out pretty soon here, Marcelo, is say you have multiple speakers in your video or your audio. Can you dub both everyone's voices in that? How many people can you translate at once in a video is the specific question.
Yeah, great question. So like I was mentioning earlier, while this is a good question, but in the context of what I mentioned earlier, we're going to just make a copy of your project to translate. Yes, we can translate multiple speakers. We can translate anything that's in your composition. Theoretically, as long as you're going from one language to another language, right? So you're not going from like multi-language to multi-language. It would be like the only blocker. But I've translated videos where my whole team of 12 people have been in one call recording and translated it all to Brazilian Portuguese, and it translated all 12 people. So like,
Awesome.
if you can fit it in a project, we can translate it. And if you have any issues with that, I manage the support team that can help with that. So if you encounter any problems, please live chat in, submit a support ticket via email, whatever you got to do. But if something is not working, as we've explained here, or as you see written out in the help center, create a ticket. That's what my team is for.
I feel like that is a perfect segue for us to close out, because we always like to end these events letting you know where you can go to get more support. So as Marcelo just mentioned, and all of those guides we've been sending in the chat, help.descript.com. It is a treasure trove of resources. There are so many guides, articles that you can check out that explain all of these translation features, from creating your AI voice to start to getting your content into different languages. Help.descript is awesome. Also, I just saw a question I want to hit. Who owns the copyright of the AI translation and audio? You own your voice. You own your content. Doesn't matter what language you transcribe it to. If you make something in Descript with your voice, you own that. We don't. Just want to make that super clear. You can also check out our ethics page, descript.com/ethics, for more on our AI policy. Just wanted to hit on that because I think it's super important. And it's something I personally really care about, talking about AI. This is obviously very complex stuff. And we take security and people owning their own content very seriously here. But anyway, help.descript.com for help articles, and also to chat to awesome people like Marcelo that know so much about Descript and are so friendly and willing to help. And a lot of, I would say, everyone on Marcelo's team also use Descript. So great folks to chat with. Also, join our community where you can share feedback on how you're finding all of these features, and you can also attend office hours with Marcelo to talk about everything. Those happen every Wednesday at 1 p.m. PT. You can scan the QR code. Who knows where it is? But the QR code on the screen will send you over to our Discord community. We've got like 20,000 folks who have signed up for that space. Yeah, there's channels where people post questions and other community members answer. If you ever need help with, you want someone to teach you Descript, or you just are like, I need to bring on an editor, cool if you're doing that. And there's a channel where you can ask for that help. So definitely check that out. And then we would love your feedback on today's event. Again, we had to change some things last minute. It was on the fly. I think we did pretty well handling the rolls and the punches. All thanks to you, Marcelo. Thank you again. But scan that QR code. Let us know what you're still thinking about, or if you, again, we will reschedule another event with Aleks to cover this stuff and tell us what you want to see more of. And yeah, just give us your feedback. We would really appreciate that. Lastly, learn more about all of these features, scan that QR code, or just head to descript.com/AI/translation. All of these awesome features are listed there and you can learn more. And yeah, we're just really honored that you all came and attended this event and wanted to learn about this. This is a huge unlock for so many people. I'm really excited that it'll bring people that speak different languages into our community, and have more access to Descript. That's just super, super exciting for me. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, everyone. Marcelo, thank you for jumping in. I'm going to send a link to the Discord in the chat right after this, so you can all just click through and join us there. And yeah, come to office hours tomorrow and meet Marcelo, and you can chat more about these things. Great. I think that's it. Keep your eyes peeled if you don't see your language yet supported. We are working on it. There's going to be some really exciting updates coming soon. So stay tuned. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. And we will see you at the next event. Okay.
Yeah.